Hey boys, welcome back. We're taking on the Seagulls in this Be a Pro match, and the Seagulls, not surprisingly, are going pretty good on the table. I don't really ever keep up with the under-20s in real life that much. You know, when the final starts, and obviously on Grand Final Day you always watch that, but I don't generally keep up with it too much, as we make a pretty good start to this game with a good run and a beautiful little offload. But I feel like the Seagulls would be a pretty good under-20 side. Not due to the fact that I think they would usually be, but because of the Trebojeviches playing for them, a couple of standout players. So, you know, obviously having those sort of players in your side are going to make you a better team overall. So fifth on the ladder seems about right for them. As, I mean, under-20s, talking about under-20s, the Warriors are pretty much... They actually, I saw this the other day, they finished 7th because they apparently flogged the Broncos in their second finals match. But the Warriors finishing 7th on the ladder seems a bit crazy to me, because the Warriors are always going to have, like, generally the biggest team, and as we follow up a nice kick there, but having the biggest players doesn't necessarily mean you got the better team by any means, as right here we just split the defense. Beautiful try. We'll get back to that little story later. As we see here, just terrible defense by the Seagulls, not even coming up, and the put down was a little funky. He sort of tried the two animations, but yeah, they were sliding out, but the people from market didn't come across to cover me, and too much pace straight through the gap, and picks up the first 4-pointer. But the Warriors, like I was saying, having the biggest team doesn't mean too much in the older grades, but in juniors it definitely means a lot. But right here, the Seagulls hit back pretty much straight away with some pretty impressive ball movement right there. Not much we could really do. It was just a bit of a flop out the back there, but the rest of it was not too shabby, I've got to say. I mean, I come with a pretty nice tackle here, but Jordan Drew, I think it is, just wasn't watching the ball. He popped the offload, and they pick up an equalizer there with the kick. And it's just a shock. My passing stat is pretty bad, so I'm not surprised some of those hit the ground, but man, off the scrums my passing is awful. But hopefully, you know, this game has been all attack. Like, pretty much all season the games have been really low scoring, only really get tries at the end of the matches, but this game was just full on attack straight away. It was a pretty exciting game, I've got to say. As we get the ball the second time in that little play there, just throwing the ball pretty much all over the shop, and right there, just another one of those, I don't know, bug glitches. It definitely went forward from the dummy half, but thankfully not called by the ref, and as he gets smashed there, driven back in the tackle. So we had made no ground in this set. Try a little grubber, terrible kick, and we get beaten on the outside as well. So not great play, but the Seagulls actually come up with a pretty bad play, and we put our winger away there, and we're looking to press the attack once again. Only second tackle, close to our line, and dummy half looks to scoot out there, but definitely not the play at all. As right here, probably looking back, probably could have just gone ourselves. The Seagulls held off again, but I didn't want to be selfish and trying to set up someone else. Didn't quite happen though. Once again, using the numbers, and once again the Seagulls coming up with the goods on their try line. And a little in-goal grubber there doesn't hit the mark. Hits the back fence. Poor kick. But the Seagulls are going to kick it pretty early. Well, fourth tackle, and probably not a good idea. My kick returns lately have been on point, just making plenty of ground, like getting us into a good position straight away. And right here, just too much pace. The big fend, and then just sees a gap, goes for it, and even Tom Trebojevic is not going to be able to cover us. He tried to cut the angle off, it wasn't going to happen. The big fend into number 5 there, get out of my way, and then number 12 just wasn't fast enough to cut across, and we're just going to burst through for our second try in this game. Second try in the first half. But we are going to cut back here because I got subbed off for the rest of that first half, even though I was on absolute fire. And right here, we're going to start off the second half brilliantly as well with a 40-20. So the score now is 21-11. I wasn't keeping track of the score. Was it? I don't know. Wasn't it just 12-6? Was it 12-6 to us when I got my second try? So I'm confused. The score's pretty random now, but I think it was 12-6, wasn't it? I wasn't even paying attention, but now it's 21-11. So we got a 10-point lead, and right here I still don't know what happened. Did he kick that? Either way, the Seagulls player did a pretty good job to get out the in goal. I did not put a good solid hit in, but but he did do a good job. And right there, just one of those ones where I was running across and accidentally hit the X button and put in a grabber. And yeah, we make a big error because we can't let him back into this game. So I'm just, I'm trying to make good there. Playing a fullback, you usually don't want to be making this many tackles, but you know what? I made the error, so I'm going to try to come with the tackles. And right there, I left a massive gap. I thought he was going to go straight through, but thankfully our boys actually covered me for once and made it happen. But right here, puts up the bomb, midfield bomb, not a bad one. A little bat back there, and the Seagulls have a good opportunity. A low tackle there, and right, I mean, that pissed me off so much. Charlie just goes in to score. I was so mad with that. Like, I did a nice low tackle. He got the nice offload, but then our winger just literally stood there, and he even ran into him, and there was no attempt to tackle. And right here again, low tackle. He just flops out the back, and he is not going to be caught. I couldn't believe that old mate couldn't catch him. Hugh Pratt gets his second try. The dummy half just wasn't going to be stopped, apparently. Too much pace. It was a nice covering tackle with a terrible little offload, but just no covering from the rest of the team. And the Seagulls here have a chance, but they actually missed the kick. It would have put them level with us, which would have been ridiculous. And again, having to come up with a big tackle. So we were playing so well this first half and the start of the second half. They were making not many breaks at all, but the end of this game, I don't know if it's fatigue or whatever, but just breaks are happening so often, and I'm coming in with a lot of poor tackles. Usually I'd make those tackles, but just, I don't know, I'm probably worn out from doing a lot in the attacking half, so the defense is struggling a bit, and the Seagulls here have a chance to snatch the lead. We race up there, miss the tackle once again, but thankfully they cut across and it'll be a changeover. So not much time left, and we do pop a nice pass there to put our winger away. Pretty typical stuff, and right there I was hoping it wouldn't be a penalty so I could go for a drop goal, but right here, nice bit of play, and unfortunately I just overrun the play. It would have been one-on-one with the fullback. I would have backed myself to score that. It was actually a really nice play, but I just overrun the pass and it was forward. So once again, we get our set underway with a beautiful kick return. Just, making 20-30 meters every first tackle is a huge bonus. That's why having like Tulvashek just making so much ground. And once again, the dummy half passes it forward but not called. But yeah, just those big runs from the kick returns are so beneficial. A little outside inside pass, and that was pretty nice too. Probably should have passed the ball, but I thought I could take him on. Good low tackle though. And that's going to be the ball game. So we actually come away with the win, and you're going to see something pretty strange here. So I pick up man of the match, and apparently I got 3 tries. I don't know if you saw that, but I picked up 3 tries. I definitely didn't skip a try. So I know the score was weird at half once I came back on the field, and they gave me an extra try, as you see there. I don't even know. I got a hat trick that game that I didn't even know I had. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. It was one of my best games, but I'll see you next time.